Okay, I have Asperger's syndrome. And the Asperger's is, if you've never heard of it, it's a high-functioning form of autism. So it's like high-functioning autism. And what it basically is, it's like we're half normal and half autistic. We can have our days where we can act, quote, normal, and we can have our days where we can be completely autistic, rocking and flapping our hands. And what it is, it's kind of like, it's like when you're going outside, the whole world spins upside down. And it's very confusing, trying to correspond everything, put it all into one. And when somebody comes up to talk to you, now, that just like sets off a bomb in your brain. And then for some people with Asperger's, it makes them talk a lot, like very excessively, about something they like. For me, it's like a cement block just like goes in front of my mouth and I can't speak. It's like something's covering my mouth and I just can't talk. It takes me like 10 minutes just to get out the words I want to say. Exaggerating, of course. But it's hard when somebody's talking to you, especially when they ask you, they say, here, look at me, like, then I just freeze. I can't look at you, it's very hard, it gets me anxious. You know? So looking people in the eye, now that is very hard for me, at least. I know with some Aspies, when they have practice, it gets easier for them, but eye contact, very hard. What happens when I look at people's eyes? I just start getting very anxious inside, and I don't know what to do. So I panic, and I don't have my words anymore, like I never really had them anyway. But then yeah, I don't really know how to explain that, but it's very hard because I know yeah. Okay. And another thing is nonverbal communication. I do not have, like, I really don't have that at all. When people are talking to me, I might make weird faces and I won't look at them. I'll kind of look around, look at the sky, look at the trees. Hey, look, a bird. Things like that. And I don't tend to use any gestures because I have trouble understanding people's gestures and I have trouble doing them. And another thing would be making friends. I have a very, very hard time making friends because when somebody wants to come over and play, or they want to just hang out or something, all I want to do is play on the computer or play my PSP. I don't want to play with them. I want to do what I want to do. And that can be very frustrating because inside I do want to play with them, but I can't. It's just like a disconnection. Like you have two chains that are both like I don't know what that word is, but they're both like molded together on each side, and you're trying to get them to go together. They just can't go together because they're stuck. And you keep trying and trying, but it just won't go together. And that's kind of what it's like for me and friends. I want to make friends, but I keep pushing and pushing and it just won't go through. Chain just won't break and go through. Let's see. Another thing, yeah, is that I tend to obsess over things, especially Elmo. I love Elmo. Yes. I love to watch Sesame Street, I know. I'm like a little kid. But that's where it comes into play. I mean, that's why I'm 15 years old, and I like to watch Sesame Street. I absolutely love it. It's a great show. And I think that most teenagers seem to find that a bit odd, but I cannot see why, because it's a really good show. To me, at least. And it's quite funny. Yes, so another thing would be when I go out in public. When I go out in public, again, like everything's upside down and spinning all around you, and all you hear all these noises coming from everywhere. You hear like everybody's conversation. It feels like lights are flashing in your head, or in your eyes, I mean, and your brain just goes nuts. So what I do to try and control that, I jump up and down and flap my hands, as if that doesn't look weird, you know? So that's my coping skill for now. Trying to find other ways would be great, but it's really hard to break those things. Another thing that us with Asperger's, we either lack empathy, like basically totally, or if you're like me, you have too much empathy. Now I definitely have too much empathy. If let's see, if especially if somebody is getting bullied, then I will get really mad because I can't. I've never known that other people have had emotions up until a few months ago. I just never knew. It never occurred to me. But when but I've always nobody really knew that because I've always had like too much empathy. But really what I was trying to do is I was actually feeling their pain. Like if they were being bullied, I was actually feeling what they were feeling, but I didn't even know that they were feeling that, if that makes sense. I had really no idea. And, well, life with Asperger's overall can be up and it can be down. Up and down. There can be the good times and there can be the bad times. Up and down. And the bad times would definitely be when we get overstimulated or overwhelmed. When we get overwhelmed, it's kind of like you're being poked with needles all over your body, and lights are flashing on and off in your face, and there's like 10 different people talking, trying to all talk to you at once, and you're spinning in circles. That's like a sensory overload for me. And then you just have a complete meltdown. And meltdowns are not fun. They're very uncontrollable, and they can be violent too. And then what hurts me is that we could get punished for that, even though we can't control it. It's like we're already being punished enough by having a meltdown, so why be punished more? You know, it's quite confusing. But the good parts of Asperger's is that we can be quite intelligent and very focused on things that we're interested in. Like if I'm interested, like Bill Gates, he was interested in building his computer, so he stuck to that until he finished it. And when he finished it, this is what we got. We got the web, we got the internet, we got everything. So, Asperger's has its good sides and its bad sides. And I hope this video helped you to understand Asperger's a little bit better and what it's like in my eyes.